and talk a little bit about solve and coagula. Solve is like where we get the word dissolve, and we get absolution from it. It means literally to loosen up, to dissolve. And then coagula is like blood coagulating, getting thick, congealing. Now, this term, yes, it's on the forearms of Baphomet. I have another picture of it here. Oh, here it is. Okay, so there now you can see the arms of Baphomet right there. Yes, it's on the arms of Baphomet, but this actually goes back to alchemy. And in my book, Infiltration, in the very beginning, I explain how the infiltration of the church, and it applies to the state as well, goes back to the secret societies, which are based on the lie of alchemy. Alchemy is a school of philosophy that uses as its primary allegory turning base metals like lead into gold. There's the philosopher's stone, and there's all these formulas, really spells, incantations that ultimately help the philosopher, which is interesting, right? It's not necessarily just a scientist. This is the philosopher, so it's all mystical, to turn lead or base metal into gold. And in Infiltration, in the book, I explain how ultimately this is an attempt. It's the satanic lie that Satan tried, where he said, I will be a god unto myself. That's what Satan said. And Michael, the archangel Michael, I have a whole video of this on the channel, said, Mikael. Mikael, that's Hebrew. Me, who? Ka is like. El, God. Mikael, who is like God? It's a question. So this one angel said to Satan, Mikael, who is like God? You say you're God, but who is like God? There's only one true God. And it was that question of Michael, St. Michael the angel, that caused Satan to fall, and a third of the angels with him that rebelled against God, because they wanted to take their angelic nature, which is lower, and in a way turn it into gold, turn it into God. Not with God's grace, not with God's mercy, not with God's love, but by their own self-power, their own mysticism, their own philosophies, their own lies. And so when Satan falls and he comes to earth and God creates man and woman, Satan does the same alchemy lie to the man and the woman. You will be like gods. You don't need God's grace, God's love, God's mercy, because we do believe as Christians that God's grace elevates us and makes us sons of God. Ultimately, it will elevate us into the beatific vision, where we will be united to God's essence, partakers of the divine nature, as St. Peter says. So we do believe all that, but it's by humility and grace and love. This is by pride and hatred and lies and really self-love. So the lie of alchemy is that you can, without God, with magic and mysticism and philosophy, turn human nature into the divine. And that the motto of alchemy is solve et coagula. And it's not just about chemicals and metals. You dissolve it and then you bring it back together, but you bring it back together as something different. So it's not just about deifying human nature through lies and magic and deceit. It's also about transforming society, the whole world, the whole cosmos. Dissolve America, bring it back, coagulate it, congeal it back to something that we want. Take the church, dissolve it, solve, that's on the one arm that's pointing up on Baphomet. Dissolve the church and then bring it back together and congeal it into something different. Whereas we believe that the Bible was given by the apostles, it can never be changed. Tradition was given to us by the apostles, it can never be changed. Christ gave us the church through the apostles, can never be changed. The doctrine and the morals can never be changed, modified, updated, edited. It's like the 10 Commandments. It's not the 10 suggestions. You have to follow the 10 Commandments. But the mystical, Freemasonic, secret society, occult They want to take all these things, dissolve it, break it apart, and bring it back together. So it's kind of like divide and conquer. You divide, you conquer, but once it's all there, you're not done. For the alchemist, for the occultist, they want to then bring it back together into an antichrist kingdom, an antichrist society. You know what's kind of interesting? You know who else has Salve et Coagula tattooed on her arm? Anybody in the comments? No? Let me open up the comments. There's a very famous person in the world right now who has Salve et Coagula tattooed on their inside of their forearm. Just on one side, though. Does anyone know? Doesn't seem like anyone knows. The author of Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, she also has Salve et Coagula tattooed on the inside of her arm. I think I even have an image of it somewhere here. Just a moment here. As you know, guys, I'm really against Harry Potter. I think it's a bad idea. And here it is. Here's J.K. There. I got too much stuff on the screen. J.K. Rowling's arm. You can see there it says Salve et Coagula. Now, that could be a lie. Someone may have made that up, but I read online and they put that picture up and said this is J.K. Rowling. Now, J.K. Rowling ultimately is a student of alchemy, black magic,